love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. That's a typical government. Always trying to step on the little guy just for living his life. It never stops either. That's why I can't go back. Not going to be part of the machine. Form fillers.
Form fillers?
That's how they get you. Anything you want to do in life, you've got to fill out a form. And they've got forms for everything. You fill it out, it goes upstairs, and then they make you fill out a new form, just to confirm it was you that filled out the first form. And if ever you want to stop filling out forms, well, there's about 5 different forms for that. Down under where the crypto flows. Defi here and everybody knows. PulseChain hacks, it's a crypto dream. Bitcoin, Ethereum, we're on the scene. Crypto happy hour, join the ride. Jump in the stream and feel the vibe. Be sure to hit the like. Keep flying down under, streaming live. Retracement and politics collide. Freedom of speech we won't hide. Macro views and chats go bright. Join our stream, it's a Friday night. Crypto happy hour, join the ride. Jump in the stream and feel the vibe. Be sure to hit the like. Keep flying down under, streaming live.
Hey everybody. Welcome to our Aussie happy hour for DeFi Down Under here. It's a nice afternoon here in Australia. Welcoming everyone from where you're tuning in from. But we've got, first off, a new guest for the first time today, Crypty Girl. How you doing?
I'm good. It's Friday afternoon in Australia, and it's an awesome Thursday night in America. So yeah, hello to everyone around the world, and hope you're doing really well.
Yeah, no, very cool. Thanks for joining in today. And we got Fast Abdul, our very, very regular man these days on the streams, but also here with us in Australia doing these. And we've got the Bull, the non-talking Bull. His lips aren't moving today, but he's there.
What's going on? What's going on, guys and girls? Can I just say how nice it is to have a pleasant person streaming with us, you know, as opposed to us salty old men.
Yeah.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly
That's
right.
pretty
And you're mentioning being in Australia, Crypty. We're glad to have you down here, down under for a little while. So welcome to Australia, and hope you're enjoying your stay down here.
Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving the tail end of summer, the hot weather, because it's pretty cool back in America. So yeah, I've been enjoying the hot weather and all the chill vibes.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Yeah, it's been has been quite warm over in Melbourne. Well, I was over there for a little while, and caught up with 43 over there and Sammy Chica, which was great fun. Man, it was some seriously hot days until the last day, the main race for the Formula One, and all the heavens just opened and the rain came down. So has it dried up yet? Is it still wet or?
It is still wet. Yeah, it's been raining for a few days, and I've actually been under the weather since for a whole week, but now I've just recovered pretty much fully today. So
Yep. Nice.
How
Very
did
good.
the F1 go?
Yeah. It was a crazy race for anyone out there that watched the Melbourne Grand Prix. Slipping and sliding everywhere. There was a crash in the formation lap, like the very first lap as they were going out before the race even started. It was just a battle of the fittest to really see, who could not spin out and not get affected by the wetness, because it's partly a street circuit. There's the white painted lines on the ground, and when that gets wet, they're extremely slippery. And those Formula One cars, they're unforgiving. As soon as you lose brake traction on the white lines, they just spin around straight away. So it was quite an entertaining race. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Brave
but yeah.
drivers.
And how did you place? Like, where did your car come in?
Oh mate, I was right up there. Nah. I wish I placed, but yeah, I was lucky enough to be a little bit of a part of it, doing some work with a car over there. So
Nice.
yeah, spent some time doing that. Great fun. But yeah, the favourites, one of the favourites won of the McLaren team, but the Aussie Oscar Piastri, he ended up finishing almost, I think he was like almost last or something. He was one of the favourites to win, and all the Aussies were wearing their orange McLaren gear and cheering him on. But yeah, he didn't make it, unfortunately. The rain got him. But yes, we've had quite a slippery slope in the charts for PulseChain as well. Leading on to that, it's been pretty crazy.
You can say that again.
Yeah.
Few days. What was that? 43.
I said, yeah, you can say that again. It's it has been. I think this is this is a regular occurrence in crypto, but I think our community has been getting beaten down by the price for so long that we're starting to question, like, when will it end? When will it end? But it reminds me of a few years back. There was this guy who used to talk about Bitcoin called Trace Mayer. Maybe some of you guys remember him. And he coined, well, I think it was him. I heard it from him, but maybe there's a story behind it. But he used to use this phrase, hodler of last resort. And I think it's sort of a play on words of the lender of last resort, like a central bank, lender of last resort that comes in and, bails people out with debt. And the hodler of last resort was the Bitcoin holder who would just hang on to their Bitcoin no matter what was going on in the market. I sort of that came to mind recently, and it's just in my mind. Hodler of last resort. That's what I'm feeling like. Recently, yep. I'm just feeling like a hodler of last resort. If you can hold through this stuff, I think you've been forged your resolve has been forged in the fires of Mordor. I don't know how much, before zero, I don't know how much worse it gets than this. So well done to everyone who's still here. And I think we're all hodlers of last resort right now.
That is so true. It's been a really tough market for HEXicans, like just month after month of savageness, and it's really hurting. Like, it's just hurting a lot of people. It hurt me a lot, but I'm so glad that Bitcoin can be expected to follow the M2 money supply 100 days later, the money supply of the world, and so that should be like starting to go up in May. That should be green candles after May, which is good for the whole market. So that's exciting.
I think it. Yeah, I mean, leading to that information there. So what's giving you that information about the money supply that's going to improve that, as in the money supply increasing, or the dollar value, or what are we talking there?
Oh, it's just the circuit of the market. That's just traditionally what happens, and everyone's talking about that. So it's something I'm counting on. Yeah.
So in other words, like money printing, is that sort of what you're in that sort of respect? Like we're hoping that the printers turn on in the way of, they start handing out some stimulus packages and maybe trying to pump the bags because of possible recessions and things like that.
I don't know. It's just what people have been talking about it, but I have to pay more attention to it. So that's just the tidbits I picked up.
Yeah.
We've got like, I think maybe Donald Trump, his policies with regard to tariffs. Maybe Fast Abdul can speak on this because Canada have been, in the you guys have been in the media, like on the receiving end of tariffs, and you guys have been dishing them out as well. Australia, we're there as well. We've got tariffs on our stuff, on some of our things going to the US. I don't think we retaliated yet as far as putting reciprocal taxes, tariffs on goods, but I think that has a that sort of that's going to make things more expensive, right? So it's going to mean that. I mean, this is just my pretty uneducated opinion on this, but from what I hear and what I see, it seems like that is going to put pressure on the Fed to reduce rates. And reducing rates means that it's cheaper to borrow money. So, I think that could, kickstart this money printing deal that we're sort of talking about right now. But our Fast Abdul, like, what's your take on it?
Well, as far as the between the countries, the tariff wars and all that kind of stuff, I've always thought it was like posturing leading up to trying to make some sort of deal, or intentional market manipulation where, he lays down these tariffs, affects all the markets, stock markets, etc. Perhaps is enriching himself in the background, and then removes them through, skilled negotiation, and everybody's happy and markets go up. And everyone's very, very pleased with this presidency. That's my knee-jerk reaction to it. So I feel like the end result will be good for, people in crypto in particular. I could be wrong, not financial advice, but I think it's like, dumping the market, then pumping the market could be what we see here.
And as a perfect segue, we're talking about money printing. As a perfect segue, Fast Abdul, can you tell us what's been going on in your world in the last week? Because I think you've been a busy man.
You bet. Just real quick, just so you guys know, I may have put a little bait on Twitter. I tweeted this space out as Pdai making a big comeback in Australia, ? So if you see any questions in the chat about that, that's probably why.
Nice.
There's some money printing there too, which is, I thought that's what you were getting at, because the inflationary bug on Pdai has been the talk of the town lately.
It's printing hard.
Yeah. Well, it's dipping hard right now. Have you guys looked at that?
Yes. Yeah. It's not looking too good, is it? It's
No.
You can bring it up to show if you like, but
Sure. I'll bring up a couple things here.
Yeah. Cool.
Let me find.
Now, it's been an interesting day or two among all of that sort of stuff, and might be finally a turning point for a lot of people that might have been sitting on the fence whether they believed in something or not, and really wanting to see where it all leads to, and without dancing on graves or saying but glad we didn't do something. It's like, hopefully people didn't have too much in there. If it is going south and only that way, we hope people come out of it okay. But the core coins seem to be, the best way to stick to, in the way of the safest, and that they're going to have the least issues. Like, this price still isn't doing great with them, is it? But it just seems that the safest bet, that's for sure. I'll bring you up, Fast Abdul. There we go.
Okay, so here the Go Pulse Pdai chart is having trouble keeping up with the numbers, but we have a here it is. Good. We have a negative 49.5% dip. I think that's on a 24-hour.
Yes.
Yeah, based on after a pump after a big dip just shortly before, so just a couple days before. But what I wanted to highlight was the recent activity of the HEXoA account and of Richard Hart that kind of has sort of sealed this price at the moment. Though, I've seen strange things lately. You never know what's going to happen. But as far as, let's bring up Mr. Hart here. As far as what Richard said, like he just tweeted about the Pdai inflation bug. This is the closest he's come to saying like, oh, like this is there's something wrong with this, right? So he actually goes on to say here, something has inflated the Pdai supply by multiples. Free Dai fork is what it is. Pdai is a 24.5 billion supply now. Dai had under 10 billion on the Ethereum fork. Who minted that supply and why are they, it's rumored, dumping it and bridging up? Which has been, it may be rumored to him, but to me it's confirmed because I've seen that activity. I've seen the wallets, I've seen the bridging. So I think he's being careful there. That pick is a market cap of Dai on Ethereum, by the way, since it's usually $1. The market cap chart is basically the supply chart. So he's pushed at this a couple times in the last couple of days. Let's find the other one. Okay, this is the big one. This one for me seemed like it was giving clarity,
This is a good
but
one.
it did not give clarity to many people. And this was a couple of days ago, March 19th. It's 21st here in my time now. One of the stupidest things in crypto is when people pretend a coin was founded by someone or secretly supported by someone. It sounds as stupid as, yeah, man, Satoshi's actually behind this coin. Telling the truth is better than lying. Tell the truth. To me, this was like a definitive, like, hey guys, it's not me in regards to Pdai. But the Pdai bros spun it a different way. So, which I have sympathy for other people's viewpoints. It's not how I saw it. But then he followed up today with the other tweet that we just looked at, and then he followed up today by the OA wallet selling Pdai in very large quantities, which it's never done before, to my knowledge. So I feel like this is the message. So we have three things in very close succession where I feel like he's trying to indicate that this is not the way. And it sold Pdai into PulseX, like it bought PulseX. That's the last I heard of it anyway. So, and then we have on the charts, like, on the charts, we have RH tokens looking decent enough today, and anything that's tied to Pdai is looking terrible, down 50% kind of thing. Not anything, like there's many things tied to Pdai. I mean, like Atropa in particular, like Teddy Bear, those things that were very, very closely tied to Pdai have had a rough day. And Pdai itself has had a very rough day.
Yeah. Shows the power of
a little while back. Sorry, mate.
You're right. Go for it.
A little while back, I think it was close to the Pdai top. Richard Hart tweeted, and I think this was used as fuel to, like, as support that, he was behind it or at least involved in it. And the tweet was and it's got a picture of the Pdai chart, and it's just after the top, and it says, so this coin is up. Oh, what's that? That's 2.7 billion% in 547 days. Ethereum, you might have some of this free coin waiting for you, but few people know about it, which I'd say is proof you could benefit from doing some marketing. This is the free Dai on PulseChain. Insane gains are cooler when people know about them. So that was used as like almost like proof or evidence, supporting evidence that RH was behind this or involved in it. But I think if you sort of, I think people who are coming to that conclusion are taking that's what they want it to mean. In my estimation, because I look at that and I think, oh, right, he's like calling close to the top. He's like calling the top of this thing and he's telling people to come and sell it because he's saying, hey, Ethereum, come and sell this free stuff you've got over here that went up 2.7 billion%. So, I mean, you can look at things you can frame things how you want to frame them or however's convenient for a narrative. But if you step back and just look at what he's actually saying in the tweet. He's saying, like, hey, there's free stuff here. It's gone up heaps. Come over and sell it. That's basically what he was saying. So yeah,
100%. I was trying to bring up the forked wrap Bitcoin chart, but I can't get it there quick enough. But there's also this just in relation to posting about Dai, the forked version. He also made this post May 22 in 2023 about the wrap Bitcoin fork. So it's a similar post, and it's showing massive gains, saying, guys, this is not the wrap BTC from Ethereum. This is the free PRC20. And yeah, that's, as far as I know, that's about the tippy top of the price that ever got to as well. I could be wrong because I don't have the other chart up, but I don't remember it going much past the 2000 mark either. So it's a similar post. So people look back and think that, it was, he was shilling Pdai. Well, I think he's just shilling the free money on the chain for onboarding, which was the whole point in that to begin with. It was going to be the world's biggest free, largest airdrop, and great onboarding tool. So that's sort of how I see that one.
We got a new post from RH here.
Oh, sweet.
I want to take a look at that. Thanks for the heads up there at Lockstock Vids.
Yeah, nice.
I lost my tab.
That's all right. I'm on here. Get that going. See what he's got to say. 4 minutes ago, Pdai, it's rumored that this is a spreadsheet of guys that are minting and dumping. Perhaps they could do that forever. Coins that don't hyperinflate to death are cool. Very good. Bring that spreadsheet up a bit after, but yeah, wow. So, is that the final sort of sword in it?
How much more clear can we get?
So total. So there's the main 4 addresses that he's talking about, and yeah, they've bridged out over $3 million worth in that Pdai. So everyone that was looking to hold to $1, and hopefully it gets collateralized by the OA. I'm assuming this is saying it's not. I could be wrong. Wild guess, but all of those posts are sort of leaning that way, aren't they? So yeah, thanks, Lockstock Kids.
Very, very strongly leaning that way, in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's why I like coins that are like this that Crypto Coffee posted about. PulseX, 6.66% of the PulseX supply has been bought and burnt so far.
That's huge. That's a huge chunk.
It is absolutely massive. There's not going to be more of them printed. So far, there's no proof of a way to inflate it or print more of them. Yeah, so there we go. Maybe that's why everyone was saying that they were expecting to have single-sided staking for PulseX. Maybe that's why we don't have it as well, because it's just, there's never going to be more of them, and that's just how it should be. So I'm pretty bullish on the PulseX, and if you believe in that too, they're at a pretty good price at the moment. But I know it's a scary time to be buying in if your bags are already quite low. So
true,
it is the time to be buying in. If you haven't bought into the ecosystem, you are so lucky that you get to buy the bottom.
Yeah.
While a lot of us have been sitting here hodling for years, right, and buying on the way down. Right now, things are super, super low. So you can, people who sacrificed $10,000, say, in Pulse, are now down to $2,500 worth of tokens. So right now you can go buy $2,500 worth of Pulse tokens, Pulse on PulseChain, and have the same amount as someone who sacrificed 10,000. So that's a bitter pill to swallow for the people who sacrificed. However, it's fantastic for people who have got capital on the side waiting to buy into an ecosystem that has a community, has potential to continue growing in the coming years.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah. I just quickly jump in. I said it a few times where I wasn't actually around for the PulseChain sacrifice, and just got into the PulseX sacrifice, and it was at the time when the bonding curve wasn't too good. So for a little while there, I was extremely disappointed. In the fact that I didn't get in early enough, didn't put enough in, this and that. And so for people like that, this is a great opportunity. For other people, it can be painful watching others get things cheaper than you. But if you get that chance to DCA in and bring the your cost basis down, it's bloody good.
But
Absolutely.
nobody has that conviction unless you've ridden this far. Like, I wish I hadn't put anything into PulseChain, but I had all the conviction that I have now, right? But you'd never have that if you hadn't made the journey. So, because if that was the case, if I still had like all my dry powder on the side now, and I was just watching this whole time with 100% conviction, then obviously today would be a great day to roll in, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Have you guys heard that PulseChain will be one of the last movers in the crypto bull market? And do you agree with that?
Not necessarily. I think it's there's a lot of speculation there on what Richard Hart would do with the sack bags, like if he's waiting for Ethereum to pump, right? For example, before deploying, if he plans to deploy, which we should not count on. But we've seen the HEXOA address and the SAC address buy things before that he likes. So if we had like a $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 Ethereum, the math on that would probably be good. So that could delay the top for PulseChain. But I think if this SEC case dismissal is finalized, which we're 25 days out from knowing ish, maybe 20 days, that would likely be a positive thing. If Richard starts streaming again after that dismissal, the PulseChain could have a lot of traffic all of a sudden. I think there's other bullish things that can happen apart from just big artificially created green candles by those sack bags.
That's a great take.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. There's a few ways it can go, isn't there? And at the moment, it's a wild guess because of what could unfold. If there's positive news and this SEC case and everything just gets turned over properly, and they stop appealing, man, it could get crazy very quickly. But at the same time, I've got a long-term mindset with it where I guess a lot of people seem to be in this for overnight mad gains, or within a year they want to be a millionaire. We would all want to be, or if you're not a millionaire, double that, whatever it happens to be, your figure. But yeah, I've got a long-term mindset. I'm in this for years and years to come, and a long-term type investment strategy. So if it takes a long time, even if we don't get a good run this year, who knows what happens in the next few cycles? It could be the best performing asset of all time, and it could not be. But we won't know for years, really. I've seen a few people posting about if we just stayed on Ethereum and just stayed as Hex and that's all, that we'd be in a better position right now. We'd be leading the bull run or whatever it happens to be. Look, possibly.
Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, hindsight, exactly. But the other thing is, I believe in like the founder, in Richard Hart, and I think by my analysis and my own opinion, I've made up, which is I think he's trustworthy, and I think he's got a good heart for people to do the right thing. And so far, he's shown that he's done the right thing and that he's stood up for everything that he said he would and achieved it. So, look, I think in years to come, we might see there was a reason why PulseChain was the best idea. But yeah, maybe Hex would have been better for this year. Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I've got a bit of a delay, so sometimes it sounds like I'm talking over you.
That's cool.
I think like what gets lost in this discussion sometimes is the only reason that PulseChain was ever on the cards in the first place is because the small player who could not afford to end their stakes on Ethereum, their small stakes on Ethereum, was just getting left behind. And he obviously felt that it wasn't fair for those individuals, because the people who have big stakes, you can justify ending a large stake even if the end stake fee is quite high. You can justify it. Well, I'm taking, 20x out the end stake fee in terms of hex at the end of the stakes. That's fine. It's worth it. But for the people who would have to pay like 2 or 3 times the amount of what their stake was, their mature stake, it just totally, left them in a position where they just lost everything. So
Yeah.
Richard Hart saw that, and decided to create a chain where that was not going to be possible, where the people who had small stakes were going to be able to end them, and not because at the moment, at the second that your end stake gas fee is higher than your stake, you might as well just go out and buy more hex rather than end the stake, right? So you just don't end the
Right.
stake. So the fact that he went out and did that for that reason, I think, to me, demonstrated that he really cared about those small players, and those small players may not be able to move the market, but he cared enough to go and make that chain for us. And I think that that's pretty important. And we shouldn't forget that. We shouldn't forget that, because it's easy to forget in hindsight and say, well, it would have been better if we just did this or we did that. But that's not the way it was back then. Back then, people were really, crying over the fact they couldn't end stakes. And it really
Yeah.
wasn't, fair. It really
Yeah.
wasn't fair for them. So I'm glad that he did that. And, history has to be told. The correct version of history needs to be told. Let's not, allow people to rewrite history into something that it's not.
Yeah, there's that point, which is the first and biggest one, about the Ethereum fees being so high that it was just killing hex stakers. So PulseChain relieved that. And then I think the second point is that PulseChain's known as the freedom chain. And so cutting the ties from Ethereum, where there could be so much corruption anywhere, you don't know how deep it goes, but it just allowed this totally decentralized, freedom-oriented blockchain to come out and blossom. And I think there's some really big people, probably like the Trump family, that appreciate that too. And I think in the coming years, we'll see them acknowledge PulseChain and possibly promote it. Maybe even add PulseChain to the US crypto reserve in the future. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, look, I
that
think
would be
That'd be
interesting.
awesome.
yeah, there are some huge things to come, and nobody knows what that's going to be. But all those things that you mentioned are possible, and I believe it definitely could happen. I was thinking today, when everyone's saying about this Pdai FUD and stuff that's going on. Sorry, it's not really FUD, is it? It's truth. It's going down hard. But yeah, this is also a risk that we have in the fact that people want financial freedom and they want to handle their money themselves, like their own bank, and they've got the keys to it all the time, and they make their own decisions with it. And yeah, if people get bored or they get enticed to do something, you can just simply go on there and buy these things that might end up not working out for you. But it's the financial freedom that everyone's calling for and asking for. And then when it all goes sour, they, sort of start pointing fingers and saying, "Oh, Richard, you should have told us sooner," or, you should have given us more signs. But yeah, I just think it's, it's unfortunate the way it's ended up, and it happens with lots of other things, not just this one particular coin. But this is just the latest example of where you need to be careful and use lottery ticket money where you're playing lottery ticket games. That's how I see it. So,
and take responsibility for it, and not blaming someone for not giving you the warnings, right? It's a
that's
Wild
exactly,
West.
That's exactly right. Yep. And don't pick up pennies in front of freight trains and all of those good sayings. You know, that I just get reminded of them when I see things like this happening. So yes, it's very interesting. I was just going to say hi to the chat quickly. We had this old mate, 43 in there first. Condor, g'day. Thanks for joining in. Frank White, shout out the East Coast USA. Look out. Very
Oh,
nice.
that would be really late. Wow.
Yeah, that's fast Abdul time almost. Probably later where he
Frank is up late. He was in one of the Pdai spaces on Twitter. Probably two of them actually.
Nice.
Speaking, and he's in many chats on Telegram discussing the matter with people.
Very good. That's beautiful. Yeah, thanks for joining us, Frank. Good to have you on board. Hit the subscribe if you're still listening. Retrostatic, good day all. How you going, mate? Yeah, RIP Pdai. It seems that way, doesn't it? It's definitely had the last final hits, I reckon, by RH. And if you're looking for a sign, that's probably your sign. USA Insomnia gang represent. Yep. Hey, Hex Monkey, love your work. See you getting around a bit and you know, jumping on chats and streams. So thanks for everything you do. But yes, good on you for being an insomniac for us. Who's here? Marco, Mr. Diamond Hands. Yep. American medical giants have written to the Trump administration urging it to consider Australia's pharmaceutical benefit scheme, yep, the PBS, as an unfair trade practice and to impose reciprocal tariffs. Look out. We really rely on the PBS here in Australia. If they're going to be trying to take that apart for people here, they're going to be struggling because we get people that are prescribed certain medications get a huge discount on them under that scheme. So that could be scary. Lockstock Vids. Oh yeah, thank you for that. That was awesome. Bit of alpha. Rocket Mob. This is the abyss. Yes, it's very, very interesting times. Sammy Chica, thanks for lunch. Shout out to Sammy. She bought me lunch the other day. Awesome OG HEXican, and she got the bill and I wouldn't let me up to the counter. So I really appreciate that, Sammy. You're a bloody legend.
What
it was
an
a great
awesome
time.
girl.
Yeah, so good. Hey all, yep, hang in there from Yaveen. Yep. It seems like a lot of people are hanging in there and are able to keep a steady head and can hold themselves back from writing certain things on social media, on X and talking on stream and, really bringing everyone's moods down. But the loudest voices just seem to come out and, shake the ground, don't they? Just seems to be how it is. Ferdy, g'day bros. Ash, g'day everyone and lovely guests. Yeah, we got lovely guests and a lot of, I saw a couple of comments earlier as well about having Crypty here, which we're very lucky to have, and people aren't used to having a good-looking girl on stream.
Having lovely guests on this show, I don't think.
Lovely guests, yeah, exactly. So it's very
I don't think he was talking about me. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Everyone here is pretty handsome. Handsome.
That's it. Look out. 30 30 reckons you're bringing him over to the PulseChain with every smile, and that's very nice. And yeah, great stream. Picked up a new follower. Thanks, Frank. That's really nice. A couple more. HEXican lost in Asia. Yep. RH is really hitting it hard. So maybe he's not sleeping either. He's part of the insomnia gang at the moment. And we got 251 live viewers. Majority of them thanks to Fast
awesome.
Abdul and his various anonymous accounts. We love you for that. And Taurus Table Talk. Look out.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for viewing.
And Taurus, if you want.
Yeah, exactly. There's a link in the chat. If you want to jump on, or anyone else in there as long as you got, you know, a smile and some clothes on, we're good to have you on. So it'll be good. We've only had Fast Abdul come shirtless before on the stream, so that was the worry.
Funny.
Good stuff.
Good happen.
Yes. So I saw something else just before that our mate Jexa, another fellow Aussie, put up, and he's of course launched the Vouch liquid staking for Pulse, but he's just done a bit of community work, which I thought I'd highlight, and has basically put a video up on how to bypass the Staker app website, or any way that's holding you back from accessing your Staker app on Ethereum, so you can get your coins out there and end stakes. So if you're struggling with that, it's not working on PulseChain, I don't think, but there's a YouTube video there, and yeah, basically you can bypass the Staker app completely and get your keys to your coins rather than Staker holding them. And there's been a few people that are sort of had it held hostage for a while there, and it's not relying on them then. So it's really good. Yeah.
Shout out to you, Jexa. That's a super helpful resource. Thanks for doing that for the community.
Yeah, Jexa himself is a helpful resource. It's good to have guys who understand how things work and are willing to share that information. That's an important part of the PulseChain community. We have access to devs. We have access to, just experts. I think Jex is a bit of both, but yeah, happy to have him.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I love the idea of everyone being here to help everyone, like you said, rather than you come up with something and you keep it to yourself. A bit like the person exploiting Pdai. Share it around, share the love. Tell us all how to mint it. No, it's good. It's so good just being able to have everyone as a resource. And Jex is great for that. What did he say here? Nothing earth shattering. If anyone's really stuck, we can take it further. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm interested to know what the goal is if you have Hex on Pulse that was part of the fork, that could be tied up in Staker, but I'm sure someone will come with that.
You could have copies of the stakes, right? If they were in there when the fork happened.
Yeah, exactly. So it says specifically in there that it doesn't work on PulseChain yet.
Okay.
Currently only supported on ETH network. So
hopefully they can work down.
Fast Abdul, why don't you tell us a little bit about your awesome project that's just come out? I see there's heaps of. So what do you call the stable coin again?
It's the Inc dollar INCD.
INCD. I see there's a heap of that locked up now. Seems to be going well.
Yep. So the project is called Ink Printer, and it's a fork of Liquidity that uses ink as collateral. So same as Liquid Loans, Earn or Flex on PulseChain, or Liquidity on Ethereum. It uses the Ink token, Richard Hart's Ink token. You can take a loan against it in the INCD, the Ink dollar stablecoin. And then there's various things that you can do with that you might find useful, like single-sided staking that's currently paying 54% single-sided staking of a stablecoin, or you can pair it with Pdai from Ethereum. We opted not to go with Pdai, and that is paying, and indeed, that's paying 104%. So you can farm stables versus stables for 104% APR. Is the current setup. So that's pretty good. Definitely the best APR on stablecoins that I know of at the moment on any chain. And it's locked up 3.31 million ink in the contract, which is $4.73 million. It's about 6% of all ink in existence is now locked in the Ink Printer protocol. So there's if that number keeps growing, like if you think of what if it was 50% of ink, what if it was 90% of ink, it reduces sell pressure and may even create buy pressure for the ink token, because it's kind of like single-sided staking for ink. You can turn your ink into a stable coin. A stable coin can be staked single-sided. So finally, there's some additional utility for ink with this protocol.
Exactly. That is huge. what percentage did you say? 6% or something?
About
Of ink is
6% when I looked
Yep.
earlier today was
Yep.
locked in the protocol. So, and that's of all ink in existence, right? Like, including ink and
Exactly.
liquidity pools, like any ink token that exists is included in that 6%.
That is
So,
awesome.
and that's higher than any of the other liquidity forks on PulseChain, as far as the percentage of the collateral token that's locked in the protocol. But by a lot. Like, I think the next closest one was probably Flex with 1.3% of the hex locked in the protocol, and the other ones were far behind that. So it's so far so good, and it's been only 2.5 days or something. Time is blurring for me right now, but yeah, something around less than 3 days. So far so
that is great. I was just thinking, like, locking up 6% of the supply like that, and the fact that the emissions on ink at the moment in the farms are so low, it's really not printing, as many ink as it was. So that's a huge portion, and we can't sort of see it growing exponentially anytime soon, unless there was another change with the master chef. So man, if that gets that's almost up around I know it's not burnt, but it's locked up, and people have taken loans on it. It's close to what's happened with PulseX. So I think that is huge.
And you can actually earn ink with the protocol. Like, when you stake the stable coin, if there's liquidations and you're staked in the stability pool, like the single-sided staking option for a stable coin, you get some of the ink that happens there. Or you can stake the print token, which is the yield token for the protocol. And when you stake that, you get INCD, the ink dollar. Whenever sum's issued, a piece goes to the print stakers, as well as when people redeem the stable coin, which is not an option for the first 45 days. But after that 45 days, when people are redeeming, then you actually get paid in ink to stake the print token as well.
Yeah, brilliant. Yep, that's so good. So that there's a 45-day. Is it no redemptions for that period? Similar to the liquid loans, the way that sort of started up.
Yeah, well, liquid loans and the other forks did 14 days. There was no redemption. We extended it to 45 because that was sort of one of the major complaints of people was the redemption. So we're kind of softening the redemption as much as we can. Still required for the protocol. The stablecoin needs that option to help maintain its peg. But there is another option right now, because if the stablecoin dips below $1 and you have a vault and let's say it was 90 cents, it's not 90 cents, but if it was, you could buy it up and pay off your loan at a 10% discount. So people are still motivated to do that, to participate in that way, to buy it up if it goes below. But after the 45 days, you can redeem one ink dollar for $1 worth of ink from the protocol. So that's what helps maintain the peg at $1, is because it's always worth $1 worth of ink inside the protocol.
Yep, exactly. Beautiful. That's so good. Well done on making all that happen and getting it to where it did. And I think it was a good turn in the road to head towards ink rather than towards Pdai. So amazing decision.
Some people made that decision. That would have been good. And I just want to very quickly, I'm not going to go into it much, but like, this was not a perfect launch. There was a couple of mistakes. The liquidity got sniped by a bot when it was only $1, and there was $1 worth of liquidity in the pool when it was a test pool before the contract was announced. Pumped the price of the print token to $7 million per token, which temporarily made me a multi-billionaire. So that was nice for about 36 seconds until that came back down. So the chart looks kind of funny and that kind of stuff. There is some MEV bots preying on the community that since we've sourced where they were getting their arbitrage from, and they're now gone. But I think a big public thing like that is going to have those kind of things going on a little bit more. I wish I'd stealth launched it. In retrospect, there were some mistakes made, but I'm very happy with how it's working overall. We have like an audited fork of liquidity that is providing the ability to lend against RH stables, and we now have one for every RH core coin that is on PulseChain. So that works for me.
Absolutely. You're working for it, and RH says that, go out and do some work, and you're one of them. So well done.
I'm showing up.
So
I
good.
wonder sometimes if he sees us or not, but I suspect he might.
Absolutely. I'm sure of it. I just think there's, as we know, there's certain things you can and can't say, and things that get taken out of context. So whether it's for legal reasons, he can't say certain things. You know, maybe it's just not right because things can change quickly, or they can be seen as favoring or whatnot. It's a tough one. I would like to see him get to the stage where he can sort of share some progress things that are happening on the chain, the new projects or the ones that have been around for a long time. You know, that would be really, really good. We'll see what happens, hey, once the legal shackles get taken down. And there's still the Interpol to get through. You know, so
True.
a lot of people are talking and focusing just on this SEC thing when that the Interpol is really lingering there. And
I think I don't think it's as important though, like for financial purposes at the very least, right?
True.
Like, and like, and it's not like there we say Interpol, which is a big scary word, but like the truth is it's Finland, which is not as scary, right? So it's not like there is an Interpol notice because Finland is, you know, part of Europe, but like you know, it's just Finland that has a beef, right? So Finland versus RH. How's that going to turn out if SEC, the United States SEC versus RH doesn't turn out? Then I feel like Finland's probably not in a winning position.
Yeah, agreed. Crypty, how do you feel about all that? You know, the SEC and the Interpol sort of stuff. Do you, do you feel it's
I'm
really
not worried about
dragging
it.
things? Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be the best comeback in crypto history.
Yeah.
Like, just the PulseChain community prices completely savaged. Everything that could be bad happening to us has happened. And then we're just going to rise from the ashes. The judge has already made a great case that the SEC's points are invalid, and we're just waiting those extra days now, which is just about a month.
Yeah.
The Interpol thing is really just ridiculous. I'm really proud of HEXicans for calling out the shenanigans there, and I think HEXicans will take care of that. And I'd have to agree with Fast Abdul that I don't think it'll affect the price that much. And I don't even think the rest of the crypto market cares about that. People outside of the PulseChain community, I think the big one is the SEC case being dismissed by the judge, and that one is like there's no arguing with that. But for the Interpol thing, the rest of the crypto market and even new investors, I think that they probably won't even hear about it, and if they do, it won't phase them. Like, it wouldn't phase me if I were outside the market. I'd be like, I'm going to get into PulseChain. That's a great deal. Especially everything they've gone through. I mean, it's only up from there. Then it's like, what else could happen?
Americans don't care that much about what's happening in Europe, in my opinion, and most of the financial energy comes out of the US. So as far as crypto goes, as far as the pulse chain goes, so I think that that is a consideration for how heavy the Finland FUD is. I think we should stop rebrand it to the Finland FUD instead of the red notice.
I like it.
Yeah, a good shift.
I like it. We'll do that. I'll try and remember that one. I just think in regards to that, you know, there could be certain reasons why, you know, Richard isn't streaming if he is going to come back to streaming. So if he's not coming back to streaming, then I'm not worried about that Finland FUD at all. But if he is coming back to streaming and that's the plan, I feel like that won't happen until the Finland FUD is cleared, just because it might possibly give away locations if he streams, or there might be certain reasons why, you know, he can't come on stream because of that in particular, or show his face. So that's my only, I guess, worry or hope, you know, for things to turn around on that side. So hopefully, we get something with it soon.
Do you gents think that the PulseChain market will be part of the bull run without Richard ever coming on stream? Like, if he decided not to stream this bull cycle, do you think it'll pump still?
I think so. I think there's more.
I think there's still enough here. but it wouldn't
Definitely.
be as good.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah,
better
that's
if he
right.
does.
Mhm.
But like,
Definitely.
if the sack bags were deployed, which is again not something I want people to expect, if the sack bags were deployed onto PulseChain, it wouldn't, like, it would still matter if he came on, like it would make a bigger pump, but like just the math of the thing, like, yeah, it would pump no matter what, whether we wanted to or not. Like, you could try your hardest to not make it pump. You could flood it all day long, every day. And if the sack bags were fully deployed onto PulseChain, it would pump and look incredible. So, there is that potential scenario that could happen based on previous buys from the wallet in question. So that's on my mind a little bit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
Look, I think, there's part of me that says no, I want him to stream because it'll bring back the community morale. But lately, I've just kept reminding myself of how short everyone's memory is, because they're saying we haven't heard from him, or this or that, and it's like, well, we got like a Christmas audio file. He is making himself known on X still. And all of the things that he's said in the past, they're still like unfolding. These exchanges having issues and all sorts of things. He's already said it's going to happen, and it's still happening. So I don't think anything's out of date yet, in a way of what he's said. But if he came on and streamed tomorrow, in 6 weeks from now, there'd be a whole part of the community saying, "Oh, he never streams. He hasn't done anything for PulseChain." So yeah, look, it'd be great if he comes on, but everyone's memory's that short that, yeah, he'd have to just be streaming every second
We
week
waited 2
to
years
keep
for
the community
PulseChain
happy.
to launch.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
that
Yeah.
was a really long time. And 2024, we got Richard's Christmas video in 2023, and then Richard's Christmas video in 2024. And that 1 year went by super fast for me, but I'm not on Twitter every day either. I do go outside. So, like, I was good with those two, the Christmas videos, but if we had the patience for the 2 years for PulseChain to launch, I think we'll be good. Even if it takes a couple more years for Richard's streaming, it's already been, well, it's, I don't know, a year and a half. I mean, we're almost at that mark.
True.
Yep, agreed. And I've been saying for a while now, just my opinion of when I might be worried about PulseChain, and I'm certainly not worried yet. I think if we see ETH run up and get past its last all-time high in a big way, and looking like that's topping for the cycle, that's when I'd start to maybe get worried within my own thoughts of making something out of this cycle. Like I said, I've got the long-term mindset on it, and it would be great to pull a huge amount out. But yeah, until ETH gets running, which I hope it does, and gets really, really moving, I'm not worried, because it's only really Bitcoin that's had a great run so far, and that's to be expected in the market cycles. That always runs first anyway. So yeah, give me 2 secs if you can just talk among yourselves for a sec. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So, Crypty, are you somebody who travels around quite a bit?
No, actually, this is just my first time traveling internationally.
Okay, well, that's cool.
So I'm just starting that journey, but it's been
Yeah, well,
good.
you traveled a long way, I suspect,
Yeah,
from
I'm
your
from
lack of
the
an Australian accent.
yeah, I'm from the western coast of the United States, so it's a 17-hour flight.
Oh, good times.
Yeah.
Very nice. That's a damn long flight, indeed.
Mhm.
Sorry, I've got kids asking me specifically for milkshakes. So
Well, you can't let them down.
exactly. Oh, that's funny stuff. Well, I was going to bring up this comment from Hans. Fast Abdul, you might be able to chime in on this one. What's our take on Pdai tanking the chain because of the drainer address minting unlimited Pdai. You know, obviously, like just my thoughts on that is I can definitely see that happening. We can see it all in the charts. But my question to you, Fast Abdul, would be like how long do you see that being able to be the case for? Because of the liquidity there. Hopefully people
less
start
liquidity
removing.
now, right?
Yeah.
So that the number's gone down quite a bit. I think we're looking at, according to GoPulse, it says 500. No, okay, I just refreshed the screen. Liquidity is $338,000 for Pdai.
There we go. Well,
So
it can't keep going forever then.
No, it's all about liquidity. So if people pull their liquidity to Pdai, and it's getting sold down, obviously, then the risk to the rest of the chain becomes less and less and less. Once there's under $100,000 in liquidity, it will be relatively irrelevant. It doesn't mean that stops that person from minting and dumping, but if they're, as far as how it affects prices of Pulse and other assets that are tied to it, the lower the liquidity tie with Pulse and other RH assets that are tied to other things in the chain, the less overall effect on the overall chain. And even today, like we can see, like just looking at the charts, assets that were tied very closely to Pdai. So Atropa, for example, is down 79% on the 24-hour. Yeah. And then Atropa's main liquidity was with Pdai. Obviously, some people react and dump that asset as well, but it gets pulled down by Pdai. Whereas if we look at we'll look at Inc, right? Because Inc wasn't one of the ones that the OA address was buying. It bought some PulseX today. I don't think it bought Inc. But Inc is down a little bit today. It's down 11% to $1.40, right? Versus 80% on Atropa and many percent on Pdai. I'm not even sure what the number is anymore. Also 80%. So it's the danger gets less and less the lower liquidity we have. As far as the minting bug, I believe it will continue, right? Like there's still going to be additional options for them to get at that Pdai. That is pretty complicated system. I took a shot at understanding it, but to really understand it would probably take me days of looking through the code and the process of how MakerDAO works. It's relatively complicated with an auction system and that kind of stuff. But this wallet that has been doing that, it's been doing it very consistently. They're clearly like a top 1% user, probably a dev, possibly a team of devs that is able to do this. Likely not a DAI insider like from Ethereum or anything like that, but maybe it's a dev that knows that system really well. So I don't think it would stop, but the danger will go away.
Yep. Cool. Yep. I can see it.
That's very relieving.
It is. It's nice to hear. The fact that it should just fade away is great. And maybe this is what the chain needed, to sort of drop all of that and that weight in liquidity. Because, I really think, and it's been mentioned over different streams, that on the way of that getting, if it was to get near $1, man, before that happens, there's going to be so much sold, in huge ways. That narrative of it getting to $1, I guess the same will happen with Hex, but yeah, definitely with that one. And then if it got anywhere really moving and someone had that ability to start minting it and selling it, man, that would have been atrocious if we were on the run up and PulseChain was moving hard and all that sort of stuff. That would have really dragged us down. So let's just hope that that's the drop we needed. Less weight.
Yeah, hopefully we can just move on and that'll be fine. And I see in the chat there's concern about like it's tied to other coins, which is true, but it's not going to destroy all the coins. Like we can see Atropa's not looking good, but PTGC, for example, is only down 30% on the 24-hour, which it could have been on it. It's probably had other days where it was down 30%. So there will be an effect on the coins who have deep liquidity with Pdai, but the ones that don't have all their liquidity paired to Pdai are not going to, take as much of a hit in this process. Certainly the RH tokens are going to be in relatively good condition. I'm not worried about that.
Beautiful. That's amazing. Good to hear. Crypty, we've seen a lot of awesome videos from you just promoting PulseChain and talking about your thoughts and stuff like that. What's your? I mean, I know having investment in the chain would be part of the motivation, but what sort of first made you want to do some of those videos and talk to the community?
That's a great question. Usually I come out when it seems like all hope is lost.
So right about now, that's why you're here, isn't it? Yeah.
Usually, during bull markets or green candle times, there's just so much noise out there, like so many streamers. I just don't feel a need for me to like make videos as well when everyone's already covered the topics. But there are times when I hop on Twitter and all I see is depression, all I see is complaining, all
Yeah.
I see is like no light at all. And then I just want to hop in there and bring some light back and say, "Hey, do you guys remember this? Do you remember
Right.
this?" And yeah, that's usually when I come out is like the times where everyone's lost hope, but I'm like, "No, no, there's no need to lose hope. I mean, we still have some great things going for us."
Yeah. Exactly. Definitely. Oh, it's great. Yeah, we need someone that can sort of come in and give us that little bit of peace and a nice message to help everyone remember the good things we have. So that's so good. And when you do put those videos up, I just see instantly everybody's sharing them and talking very positively about what you do. So yeah, thanks so much for doing that and jumping on stream. It's probably I might have seen you on stream once before, but not very often. So it's great.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Do you have
thanks
any,
so much for inviting me on the stream. This is great. We've got a good Aussie fam. This
Yeah.
is good.
No, 100%. That's it. We've got 43 back, and Fast Abdul, you're about to say something.
I was just asking if Crypty had a public Twitter account.
Oh yeah, I'm at CryptyGirl on Twitter and on Instagram. Yeah,
Very
I
cool.
I haven't
There it is.
been
There you
very
are.
active lately just because I'm tied down with work, but there are times when people invite me on stream, and so that's when I pop up.
That's awesome. I've put your Twitter handle in the chat there for anyone that wants to give you a follow. And yeah, check out
Thanks
what
for
Crypty
sharing.
Girl
Thank
does.
you.
No, it's awesome. Thank you. What's happening, 43? You come back with a nice message for us?
Did I come in at the end? Did I?
No, not at all.
No. Okay. No, sorry.
All
I
good.
just got taken away there for a little bit. Is my
That's-
audio okay? Because I'm on a different setup.
Yep,
Mhm.
can hear you perfectly fine. Perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd just like to, replicate what you're saying. Crypty Girl, good stuff. We've been watching. Well, I watched when you came into the community. Under those circumstances, which were like pretty fantastic, and just seeing you start to talk about Hex and all related stuff. So it's been good to see your journey, and yeah, good on you. Keep it up. That's all I can say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You've been here from the beginning then. And I appreciate that. We've got a really good community. And gents, I want to catch you next Friday, hopefully. I'm
Yeah,
actually
sweet.
going to hop off for tonight, but thanks so much for having me on. It's been really fun.
All good. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, have
Awesome.
a great weekend.
You too.
Enjoy. Yeah. All right.
See ya.
See you, Crypty. Cheers. Yeah, very good stuff. Great to have Crypty on. And yeah, man, we were just talking about more of the Pdai stuff. 43, just about the fact that Richard put another post out talking about. Oh, were you here for that? I think actually, weren't you?
I think I heard that. Heard a bit
Yeah,
about
that's
that.
cool. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, and yeah, we've had a few questions just about what's going to
Do
happen
we
there.
think? I just want to ask: do you guys reckon there's going to be a rush for the exit door, or what? Like, what? It's hard to know what to like. It's hard to know. Like, you know, it's a bitter pill to swallow for anyone who, you know, is believing in that narrative. And I can't say that it's the wrong thing or what, but what's going on seems it doesn't seem good, right? It doesn't seem good to me. But I don't know. I haven't looked into it. Fast Abdul seems like he's looked into it far more than I have. But like, what do these people do? Like under the circumstances, like people who have convicted and believe that Pdai was, is going to peg to $1. What can some of these people do in this situation? Like, do you just exit or what do you do?
Well, first off, I got distracted and I turned around, and now the pretty girl turned into a bull. What happened to the pretty girl?
Gosh. Sorry.
It's midnight. It was midnight, and
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to come back next week.
Okay, good. Well, I'm sorry. Hopefully I wasn't rude by not noticing her. Goodbye. We'll see her again.
That's it.
But as far as what should people do with like in this situation, that's a tough one. But I don't know. I like RH tokens.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like the issue with this token, right? The issue with this token is, from what I can see, is that there's no like people select, like just a few people can. It's either they've worked out how to do it, or it's only a few people who can do it. They can print as much as they want, right? So, that's problematic, right? That's problematic when inflation isn't controlled, like mathematically, in a predictable way. So that's what I've always loved about Hex's inflation model.
Yeah.
So we know what's going on with Hex and its inflation. We can't dictate to other players whether they stake or not, but we know if they do stake, we know what's going to happen. Like, we know what's going to happen to the inflation. I like that. I think that's a good model. Same for Bitcoin. We know what the inflation model is with Bitcoin, and other plenty of other tokens out there as well. We know what the inflation model is with PLSX. So we know that there's no inflation there. It's going the other way. It's becoming more scarce as time goes on. So I think hindsight's always 20/20. That's the second time I've said that in this stream. But really, when you look at Hex, we know what the inflation model is. We know mathematically how it works, and it's predictable. It's predictable, and it can't be changed. So as far as if you want to be in the RH ecosystem and you want predictable inflation, or at least inflation that sticks to a set of guidelines and rules that are predictable and can't be changed or immutable, then I think Hex is the one.
I agree. Yeah, definitely the safest bet, it seems, and all of the flawless operation it's had. And like I mentioned earlier, PulseX, the fact that there can't be any more of them made, there's only going to be less of them. And yeah, things like what Fast Abdul has done with ink, and his ink printer protocol, and the other ones for Pulse and Hex and that, really tying them down, I think, and giving you somewhere to put them is the best way for it to be. So these things being unpredictable and not not made with code by someone that we know is only done the right thing, is a real worry. And I've just had a thought.
Did you read that other tweet by Richard Hart? The PLSX can never inflate and only burns supply daily.
Yeah.
Pump.tires coins can never inflate. After they graduate to PulseX, Hex is capped at 3.69% inflation. PulseChain has lower inflation than Ethereum. Coins with admin keys or other general suctitude. Suctitude. I'm loving this word, suctitude. Can just hyperinflate and die. Yeah. Well,
And
I'm going to have to start
Gosh,
using that. I'm going to have
Yeah.
to add that to my daily vocab. Suctitude.
Yeah, that's right. Suctitude. Exactly. Amen to that. What more else is there to say on it? I just hope, and if it is coming down, and it seems that there's no other option now, but there's certain people that were really, behind the Pdai narrative and stuff like that. A few of them I've looked up their Twitter handles, and they haven't posted in a while. So I hope, it's not great if they were doing it on purpose or whatever, but hey, I hope they're okay, because it looks like there hasn't been action for a little while. So people could have a lot of money in there, and it could be turning pretty bad. So anyway,
I'm not going to sit here and dance on anyone's grave. Like, that's like, I hope that people find a way out, if that's what they want to do. Otherwise, if it can somehow turn around, they can make it turn around. That's I hope, I don't want anyone to have a bad rap or get a bad deal in any of this stuff. I really, really hope they can work it out. And the reason I don't want to dance on anyone's grave is that's not cool, when people are suffering, and B, like, have we enjoyed it when bad things have happened to us? The answer is no. No one enjoys
you gotta have
that.
some empathy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's remember that. Like, we don't want anyone to get a bad rap or get a bad deal. So, if it happens, let's not stick it to them or anything. Let's just hope they, can find a way out.
Yep, that's it. Exactly. Hans was saying only, I think that was about the amount of liquidity that Pdai has at the moment. I guess it's not that much in the grand scheme of things. And once that's flushed out, hopefully, that's the end. And it's not going to keep draining the whole sort of ecosystem. And 100K liquidity, that's almost getting down to Doz's old joke of what he would chart or not. And it's close to Fast Abdul's suit value. So Doz always said if it was less than what Fast Abdul's suit's worth, he's not going to chart it. So there we go. Red Squirrel's here as well.
That's a legit indicator, I hear. That's a legit indicator.
Could be.
Find it on TradingView.
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, how can we tokenize this?
Yeah, exactly. We can buy more Hex or PulseChain, I reckon. It's the best way to do it. Hans is saying more here. Hope influencers support the top. Won't be selfish for their bags. Yeah, look, I think that's probably why Richard's just come out and said it now as well, that there's not much more you can say, and there's a lot of proof. But yes, I hope they stop shilling it too. There were some people that were holding off on it, for a long time, and I, personally never really believed in it either. But yeah, some people just lately have changed their tune on it and sort of got pulled into that and believed that it was, what it was going to do, is what everyone was saying. But yes, hopefully it's all over in the way of people shilling stuff. It's a bummer. It's dragging everything down. Yeah, okay, burn liquidity. Yeah, at some stage it's still going to not have much of an effect though. It can't keep pulling the chain down forever. Hopefully the exploiter bridges stables back and buys the tops. Don't know about that. That would be nice. Not sure that that's going to happen though. I think they've bridged out to Ethereum, and what did it say? One of the wallets is sitting on 1 million. So hey, if they buy the top, beautiful. Uh-oh. Our mate wall-to-wall TV's here. Matty capitulating into Pdai was the top. Look, it was around that time. It was around that time. But that's what I was saying in the way of people that were holding, not sort of believing in it, and they were sort of sitting on the sidelines, and then changing their mind a little bit. And that's fine if you see things that make you believe that that's going to happen, then great. But yeah, it probably was about the time. Sick of hearing about it. Yep. Look, I'm glad we probably don't have to talk about it much longer. So maybe this will be the last stream talking about Pdai. So all good. Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap it up for today? You got anything else on the cards, Fast Abdul?
Oh man, let's see. Well, yeah, well, we're going to be doing some more things. There'll be some more protocols, some more add-ons. Looking at some add-ons for the ink printer protocol. We'll be officially launching the bribery protocol pretty soon. It's actually an open beta, like working. I just haven't had time to talk about it. So
Awesome.
that'll be a thing. We have for ink printer, there's going to be some options to do different things you haven't been able to do with other liquidity forks. So there could be some add-ons like things like a reward token that burns the print token and rewards you an ink, and maybe you'd receive that reward token for farming in a protocol that was made for that. There could be also liquid staking options for the print token. That's an idea that's been bandied about lately. So you could have like a liquid stake version and then the just loose in your wallet version. They can be paired up in liquidity pools. There could be additional incentives there. Of course, there could be farms on Fux and 2Fux in the future. If the Fux team wants to do that, that could be a thing. So there's definitely will be new things coming. But for today, I just hope everybody does okay. It's been a hard day for some people. I sympathize with you on that. And I think the chain's going to be okay. I think overall, moving forward, things are going to be more positive, and we're going to be more cohesive as a community.
Awesome. Yep, I like that. That's for sure. Keep on working hard, man. We love what you're doing. So, and thanks for coming on streams all the time as well, being very active in the community. 43, what do you got to say, man?
Look, I'm just going to say the thing I've been saying for 5 years. we all, everyone in this community is here for one reason or another, but mainly because RH created something that you bought. So, look, my take is that I think he is an extremely capable builder. I think he's a good project manager, and I think what he's built has been fantastic. Price-wise, not so much in the last couple of years, but as far as functionality, Pulse is very functional, works perfectly well, just like Ethereum, works perfectly well, and cheap transactions. You can say everything you can do on Ethereum, but you can do a lot of what you can do on Ethereum, and that's just a function of us being a smaller and more recent fork of Ethereum. And I think in future it's going to more things will get built. For example, this week we had Fast Abdul release the new
ink
money printer contract. Yep. For ink token, which is just another example of another important piece of infrastructure that's been built on PulseChain. It doesn't exist elsewhere. It's a fork of the liquidity stuff, I believe, and just another example of good stuff happening on PulseChain. PulseX, ink token, Hex. I'm not going to throw shade at Hex on Ethereum. It's still an immutable contract. It's the original immutable. It's Hex Classic. I like to call it Hex Classic. All the RH stuff, I think, is where it's at. That's just my take. It's been my take for years. It has been my take for years, and I haven't strayed. I do not. I'm not starting to stray. I think that's where it's at. History will judge these words. I'm out.
Nice. Agreed. Hey, that's awesome. I think so too. Sitting tight, being patient, and yeah, everything you said there is very, very true. I love, just the community getting together and chatting like this. Or, I had a few meetups last week, like with 43. I caught up with him, and Sammy Chica, as I mentioned, getting to see people in person is great. But getting on stream or just chatting amongst yourselves is an awesome thing, and that's what I'm here for with the community. But yeah, also the community working. We
I got
saw
one more thing when you're done.
I saw, during the week, CC from Liquid Loans, he did a stream with Maddie, which I think was long overdue for CC to come out and have a chat. And it was great, but they're still working in the background. They're not always showing their face, but I think it's good if that can be changed. But they brought out this site, thecoinzone.com. Might be good for new onboards to check out, or even if you're bored sitting there wanting to read something about crypto. They've got over 400 articles in here they've written, and so they're always doing stuff in the background. But this is like a site that isn't just about PulseChain. It's sort of showing everything about crypto, talking about all sorts of things, and hopefully leading people down the path of PulseChain. So I just wanted to bring that one up, just as something else that the community is building. And one other thing before 43 comes back on was just the PulseTube, another place where you can see where there's people streaming, whether it's about PulseChain, PulseX, Hex. You can look at, all the streamers on here. They come out, like the PulseTube puts in work to make sure everybody's on here. And you can just jump on and see who's live now, who's been just on. And I think that's like just another thing to keep the community together.
Am I on there?
Are you on there? DeFi Down Under's on there, but Fast Abdul is not live.
What if you search Fast Abdul? What happens?
Let's see. My very quiet keyboard. You are clearly in the tags on these streams, but it doesn't say that you're on. So it mustn't get a feed from Twitter, because you're not streaming on YouTube.
No, yeah. I don't do much with my YouTube channel. I mostly just be on other people's YouTube channels. So that's
exactly
fine.
Yeah.
As long as it's
that's
searchable,
cool.
That's great. Looks like there's
that's good. So you come up there. There's even the ink printer protocol. Let's see what happens with Twitter Spaces. I haven't seen that tab, so you can see old Twitter Spaces, which is great. But cool. Anyway, that website's awesome. Just to make sure you're, knowing the latest and you're part of the community, getting on there. So good stuff. 43. What else you got?
I just wanted to mention that you guys know T-Bird from Twitter.
Yes.
He has recently started his own channel on YouTube called the T-Bird Podcast. If you type T-Bird and then Hex in YouTube, you should find it. He's just started
a couple times now.
He's only had 4 episodes. He just started like a week or a week and a half ago. Guys, he's been in the community for a long time, but he's only just started streaming. So throw your support behind him. Everyone should go and subscribe and throw your support behind him, because, when someone puts themselves out there for the first time, they need the support of the community, and we have to make sure we're there for them. So go do that. Support a fellow HEXican.
Yeah, well done, T-Bird. And he came on for the Australia Day stream, which was great. So we need to get PulseTube also supporting him. So I might try and get in touch and drop that to them. So good on you, T-Bird. Everyone jump on there and subscribe. And he's always welcome on the stream as well. I'll have to pass on the link next time. All right, guys. Thanks everyone so much. There we go. DJ Cryptomatic just rocked up. You're too late, mate, but like I did to you this morning, I caught up on the replay, so you have to do that. Thank you everyone for joining. Fast Abdul 43 and Crypty Girl. Have a great weekend and stay steady and hold on to those bags. Take it easy.
See you, mate.
See ya.
See you, Fast Abdul.
Take care, guys.